Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today we're going to be touching on dry fasting. We're missing a piece of the puzzle.
You start getting healthy and you just become a better person.
We need to start focusing more on the individual. One quick announcement before we get started. I decided to release a fasting journal. So what I've done essentially is taken a monthly planner. I've added a graph for charting your weight loss. I've added dotted paper for creating a vision board. I've got a fasting guide, a liver flush guide, a recipe guide, and some other things in there for you guys. And I've got them on pre-sale right now. They are going to be 15% off if you buy them in the month of September. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description box for more details about the fasting notebooks, the journals, and you guys can go ahead and get your pre-orders. Like I told the group earlier on Facebook, for the first 300 orders, I'll be signing them. So if you guys are interested in having a signed copy, that's also another little incentive in addition to the 15% off. So make sure to check those out, and I appreciate it. All right, so today we're talking about dry fasting, and it's going to be kind of like a little quick guide on how to start dry fasting. What are some of the things you might experience? And I know this is a video I haven't done. You guys have been asking for it for a while now. One of the reasons why I haven't done it is because I don't really like promoting things that I haven't actually experienced myself. So I wanted to make sure that I firstly experienced dry fasting so that I can give you guys a first-hand account, as well as, use some of the information I've gotten from Steve and John, some of the books I've read and things of that nature, because I've been well aware of dry fasting for a while, but I just haven't had the optimal environment to try dry fasting. But I did get an opportunity to check it out this summer, and I was really excited about it, and I'm going to be sharing that with you briefly today. One of the major differences between water fasting and dry fasting is when you're dry fasting, you don't have any water at all. Now, there's two different types of dry fasting. You can do a soft dry fast and a hard dry fast. I personally don't have any experience with a hard dry fast. I did a soft dry fast. The difference is with a soft dry fast, you could take a shower, brush your teeth using water, things like that. You wash your hands. With a hard dry fast, you don't come in any contact with any water at all. So that's the major differences. The first thing you need to understand about dry fasting is it is definitely different from water fasting. The reason why is because you're not going to be drinking any water. One of the amazing things about dry fasting is it gives your body an opportunity to not just rest from processing food, but also rest from processing water. Believe it or not, your body has to process water. Water has to be structured so that your body can utilize it, and that, of course, takes energy. So when you don't have to worry about that process, you get to reroute more of the energy that your body has available for healing and detoxification. Now, the interesting thing about dry fasting is it's like water fasting in the sense that you really get the most benefit when you stop drinking water completely, right? It's the same thing with regular water fasting. You get the most benefit when you stop eating completely. One of the things you're going to ask is, well, Chris, if you're not drinking water, how do you get water? That's a very good question. There's a couple of different ways, and there may be more ways than this. But the ones that I'm familiar with is what we call, or what I call, deep waters, okay? Believe it or not, depending on which doctor or which scientist you talk to, we are 80 to 90% water, which means that we actually have quite a bit of water in our system already. When you stop drinking water completely, it allows the body to kind of shift gears and start pulling on those resources that it has stored away in our tissue. Now, the thing that's amazing about the deep water is that it is structured water. So you don't have to worry about, the body doesn't have to worry about actually processing and structuring the water. It's actually utilizing water that's already been structured. So that saves energy, time. And then, of course, those resources can be rerouted to healing, which is why you see increase in the healing factor when you dry fast. Another method your body can use to pull in water is through your skin. Your skin breathes. I've talked about it in many videos. One of the statistics I came across was during your typical American shower, you will absorb about 2 cups of water. So that's actually quite a bit of water that you absorb in a shower, as well as from the atmosphere. I mean, there's water around us constantly. But also another good way that your body can pull water in is through the breath, right? So you breathe in oxygen, it mixes with hydrogen that can be released from the cells in the body, and you can also produce water that way. So the body is very intelligent when it comes to being able to survive and provide resources when it seems like there aren't any resources available. I know we've all been taught that we can't go more than 3 days without drinking water. At least that's what I was taught. I'm here to tell you that that is completely false. I've experienced 3 days without water, as well as I've seen others going 3 days without water over and over again. Steve actually did, I believe, a 7-day dry fast, 6 or 7 days, which I think is phenomenal. Let me tell you one thing. If you've got to take a drug test, if you've got a drug test coming up and you're dry fasting, you might want to reschedule that drug test, or you might want to reschedule your dry fasting, because it ain't going to happen. I had to break my dry fast when I randomly got pulled for a drug test. And that actually bothered me quite a bit, because dry fasting, in some terms, is easier than water fasting. One of the interesting things I noticed about dry fasting is that I didn't get the hunger pains like I did when I was water fasting. Now, I'm not exactly sure why that happens. My theory is that it has something to do with the fact that your body isn't processing or breaking down anything, because with water fasting, it is actually breaking that water down, anything in the water that doesn't need to be in there, and as well as structuring the water. And so maybe that's the reason why you get those hunger pains, because your body is still kind of digesting to some degree. I'm not exactly sure, but with dry fasting, you actually don't get it. I'm not going to say nobody ever gets it, but I don't know. It tends to be a general consensus that when you dry fast, you don't get the hunger pains as much. It makes it a lot easier, as well as you don't have to worry about, I know a lot of you have issues with drinking the gallon that I recommend. And so I tell you, hey, start early in the morning and stretch it out all day long. And then that's a whole mental process, having to make sure to drink as much water as you're supposed to. With dry fasting, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So it's literally just go through life, do your work, do whatever. You don't have to worry about eating or drinking anything. So it's kind of like taking stress off of your brain. It's weird. It's like, a lot of these CEOs, these big time CEOs, they'll wear the same clothes every day because that's one less thing they have to worry about. And apparently it makes you more successful. So I don't know, maybe not having to worry about drinking or eating will make you more successful. Anyway, take dry fasting very seriously, because unlike water fasting, I did find cases where dry fasting, not dry fasting itself, but the I don't even know what you call it, the re-drink process, when you start drinking again, can cause issues if you're not doing it properly. So the first thing I want to say is, when you're coming off of your dry fast, 3, 5 days, whatever it is you choose to do, make sure that when you drink, you're only drinking water, okay? You're gonna take at least 2 days to just be drinking liquids completely, all right? But the first day, definitely only want to be drinking water, and you want to make sure that you're sipping the water. You don't want to be guzzling water, especially if you feel like you're really, really thirsty. You want to give your body a chance to adjust to you actually taking in liquids again, because believe it or not, your body will get used to not taking in liquids when it's not taking in liquids. Just the same way your stomach starts to shrink when you stop eating, your throat kind of, it doesn't close up, but it loses some of its elasticity. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, but drinking feels weird, okay? I'm gonna put it like that. Drinking feels weird. So you wanna give your body a chance to adjust to the change, right? One of the things that's great about dry fasting is we do notice healing happens about 3 times the rate. One of the ways that we judge this is by weight loss. So what we notice is that you lose 2 to 3 times more weight over the span of time if you're dry fasting versus if you're water fasting. And comparatively speaking, if you're water fasting, you lose about 2-3 times more than you would if you were juice fasting. So let's say if you're juice fasting, you lose 1 pound a day. If you're water fasting, you lose on average 2 pounds a day. And if you are dry fasting, you may lose on average about 3 or 4 pounds a day. So you can increase your detoxification and your elimination and things of that nature at a higher rate by dry fasting. What are the types of things that you experience on a dry fast? Well, they're the same things you would experience on a water fast at an accelerated rate. Okay, so obviously we've already talked about weight loss. You also experience the mental clarity more quickly, but then also you experience a more intense mental strain or tiredness when you're going through a detox, you also experience headaches and I've done many videos on detox, symptoms and things like that. I would suggest you guys check one of those videos out. You're pretty much going to experience all those things, but at an accelerated rate, or it may even be more intensified. So it is a good idea to prepare for your dry fast, whether you take 5 days or 7 days, just to kind of get your body prepared for it, just to help you through that process. For those of you who are looking for the more spiritual or energetic experiences, dry fasting is definitely going to help you to see some of those things. Like I said, it's something you will experience on a water fast, but it usually takes, from my experience, closer to like 10 days. With the dry fasting, you can kind of start experiencing these things around day 4 or 5. So you become more in tune. It's a richer experience on that level. Anyway, today we were just going to touch on it a little bit. I'm going to do another video that's going to be much more in depth about dry fasting, but I just wanted to kind of break the ice, get a few questions going, because I know I haven't done a video on dry fasting yet and you all have been asking for it, but we're going to be getting into our water series coming up here in October. We're going to be talking a lot about water, and I'm going to be expanding on some of the things I touched on over a year ago. So be looking out for that. Make sure you hit the notification bell if you guys aren't receiving the notifications for my videos. Apparently there have been some issues on YouTube lately. So if you used to get the notifications and you aren't anymore, you might need to hit that bell again or recycle it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and I will see you guys next time.